Hello Stampers, this is Kathy Hansen and I'm going to show you today how to make this wonderful little note card. You can see by looking at it that it looks pretty plain, but then when you open it up, I actually have a little Velcro dot holding it closed, and then you open it up again, you've got room to write a little note. So let's set this aside and I'll show you how it was made. These are all the pieces parts, and I would like to thank Bonnie O'Neill for posting this. Bonnie's the original designer of this card, and her site is www.bonniestamp.com. So I can't claim this one for my own, although I would like to, because it's a wonderful, wonderful card. So to begin, what I've done is I used the stitch nested labels die, and I cut this piece. This is just about 2.5 inches wide, and the piece that I cut it from is about 4 inches long. And starting on the inside, this piece of paper is 4 inches by 5.25 inches, and I've put a little score tape on the back of this. I scored this piece right where it starts to fold back in at the top, and I put a little score tape on the back. So if you remove the score tape, well, sometimes it's easier said than done. There we go. And you line this paper up on the back. I want it to be about 3/8 to 1/2 of an inch away from the right edge here. So on the back, I'm going to bring it right up to this line where the score line is, and then I'm going to fold that down. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and attach that to the inside of the card. So using my little tape runner here, we're just going to take this, open up the card. You'll see the top is shorter than the inside. So we're just going to line this up equally distant from all the sides. It's got about a 1/8 inch border all the way around. Okay, and then I'm going to move this up and out of the way a little bit because I want to bring up the bottom flap. The bottom flap is actually the front of the card, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this designer paper. This card, by the way, is cut at, it's 5.5 inches wide, it's 6 3/4 inches going this direction, and it's scored at 4.25 inches. All these measurements, by the way, are on my kathyscraftroom.blogspot.com, so you can refer to that rather than having to write all this down. Oh, and this paper is from True Love. It's a designer series paper that's getting ready to retire from Stampin' Up. It's in the January to June 2021 mini catalog. So you can actually use either side, whichever side you would prefer. I kind of like it with the stripes. So I'm going to put the adhesive on the flower side, and then I'm going to attach this to the front. And this is really all we're doing to this front panel, is just attaching this little piece of designer paper. Okay, and then we can move this down. Once we get this front finished and it's folded up, that will tell us where to put a little note. You can see I kind of misstamped on one side of it, so I'm using it for one of my sample cards rather than giving it to the stampers for Stamp Camp North this weekend. And I just lined that up about 1/8 of an inch above the top of the front of the card. Okay, now I'm going to fold this flap down, and I've got these pearlized doilies that were in the catalog last year. They are actually retired Stampin' Up! Doilies, but I just thought they were perfect for this card, so I'm going to go ahead and use them. And I'm just putting little dots of liquid glue here and there where there's a little bit of space. And then I'm going to attach that just to the center of this piece right here. Hold that down for just a bit. Make sure the glue adheres. And I'm going to cap this up so I don't get a clog. Okay, then, oh, I guess I could have left that open because now I'm going to use the liquid glue to assemble my doily, or my daisy. So I'm just going to layer these up with the darkest color on the bottom. This is Rococo Rose, which is also getting ready to retire soon. It's one of the 2019-2021 in colors that's just getting ready to go away with this new catalog. So I'm lining these up so that the petals kind of show up from the layer behind it. For the large ones, I twisted them over just a little bit of a turn so that the petals below show through, and then I wanted this contrast color to show up behind this one, so I kind of lined it up with the petal there, and then I turned the top daisy a little bit of a turn so that the petals show through. And then the last piece, oh, I don't know why I'm trying to put it on that little piece of paper. It works so much better to put it onto the piece where you're actually going to put it than trying to put it on that little itty bitty piece. Okay, put a little glue on the back. I didn't put a huge amount, just enough to hold it. And then I'm just going to center that in that doily. And that's the card. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed this card. You know, I also made this for my Women's Connection class a few weeks ago in a different color. So this is the other color that I made. This one is using, I think that's just jade, the darker color, and I think the lighter color is Pool Party. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And that's it. That's what this card looks like when it's finished. Again, if you want to add a little Velcro dot, you can. I get these little Velcro dots from actually from Joann. They're paper thin so that they really don't add any dimension, but they hold this type of a card closed so that they don't flop open like this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing more.